see a very, very big stack of stuff going on here, boy. Look at this stuff. Holy crap. Oh my. Well, you're all looking at about, what, maybe four months worth of stuff? Some interesting stuff. You might definitely notice a video game console in there too. We got a tail for that. So, seeing as it's very easy to tell that PS4 is dominating the table, though there are a few other things hiding over here. Mysterious. We do have a little bit of variety here and there, but it's not all PS4. There's of course some Switch, but there are a few other things, a few older, some 3DS stuff, as you can see there. So, let's start with some of the. Well, let me get 3 things out of the way here that are up here on the top that you can't see. 3 loose stuff, a Beyblade game. And then some random DS stuff, Torn It Around. Never heard of it. Looked it up. I was like, why not? They were like super cheap. And then Zenduku, which is a puzzle game. So, nothing too crazy. I'll set those on a table so they won't get lost. Okay, so let's start off with some PS4 stuff. We got a lot of stuff. So, first thing, we got a very interesting title, Demon Pit, which comes from the elusive Limited Whale Games. Not Limited One Games, but Limited Whale Games. Now, if you're not familiar with this company, they are very memeish, weird, and bizarre. People make lots of complaints to them. I skipped out the first title because it was considered an April Fool's joke. Nobody really thought it was real because the website looked weird, stupid, and very poorly made to the point where people thought it was maybe going to steal people's information. And the game, it happened on April Fool's Day, and the first game was Poop Slinger, which is an actual game on PSN. It's like 99 cents or something. But people actually got that. So more people got into the second, and this was the third title. So I did get my copy of this. Sadly, the disc is loose, but I'm very debating on whether I want to ever open it. The second title, which I am interested in playing and opened, is currently like $1,000-something. It's like fucking like the most expensive PS4 game right now. I have no idea where Demon Pit sits on that right now. But, like, I was like, Demon Pit doesn't seem as interesting a game, so I might actually debate just letting that wad on the shelf maybe for a while. Kind of depends. Let's see. A Wet Arts game. This is a shmup game. A lot of these Wet Arts shmup games are kind of up and down. It looked okay. As I've said, I've been scaling back on a few different limited companies, and Wet Arts Games has been one of the ones I've been more picky about whether I order it or not, doing more direct research on the titles, because there's just too many of this stuff now at this point. Then Axiom Verge 2, Dan really liked it, the first one. I think he was a little bit more subjective with the sequel. I think he told me, like, you don't even get any direct connections to the first game until, like, near the end, so he didn't sound like he was as excited about it with the first one, so Demon's Tilt. Now, this is an interesting title. So this is supposed to be very reminiscent of a TurboGrafx game that's considered one of the best pinball games ever. So this is supposed to be kind of a spiritual sequel to that, so... Then Galaxy of Pen and Paper +1 edition. Now, I had to get all of this in just... No, this wasn't 1 month. This was about, like, 4 months. I mean, you'd have to go look, but it has been a few months from my last pickup video. If this was 1 month, I'm really raking in cash blows. Even if I got all this stuff on sale, I must be raking in cash if I got this all in 1 month. Nah, this is probably more like 4 months. Maybe it was 3. I'd have to look up when the last pickup video was. But, So, Galaxy Pen and Paper Plus 1 Edition is the third entry in the Pen and Paper series. Obviously, it's a sci-fi setting, where the medieval one has a direct sequel to it. So, this was a Wet Arts game. I did like the first Pen and Paper game. It was simplistic, it wasn't very fancy, but it was a nice little game. It had a few balance issues that I hope will more panned out in the other two games, hopefully. But we'll see. Supposedly they did a lot of additions to the overworld system in Galaxy, so that'll be interesting to look into. Was it? Wait. You'll make me go look now. Let's go find out. Nope, don't play that. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Pickup video. It was on May 16th. Okay, so it was more like 2 months then. I guess today's July. Dang. Thought it was more at least like 3 months. Maybe it, maybe it was a little bit much. But then also you do have to keep in one other thing though. So you have to keep it, but you do wait, don't jump the gun here. You gotta keep in mind a lot of these are from Limited 1. And Limited 1 sometimes takes like a fucking year to get some of their shit out nowadays. So some of these, like, I'll point out some of these that have literally been in pre-order hell for a while. Nah, not that much money. I mean, I probably, on average, spend probably $200 on video games a month, probably. Blame Limited. Well, it is Blame Limited 1. 1, as in like one-ing. I know a speech impairment, not one, but one-ing. But, I mean, some of these have been wanting in freaking Limited 1's freaking need to be fulfilled. Well, usually I spend about 100 on Limited 1's monthly releases, usually. I try to get them all bundled in one. Sometimes I get 2 orders. Now, last April was real bad, though. That April Fool's release shit, that was crazy. That was the biggest fucking Limited 1 thing I've ever done. I'm interested in the Koto 2, because it says it's going to have cut content in it. That's going to be very interesting. The good thing about the other Limited companies is they're definitely not as often. I mean, Limited 1 Games almost has something every single week. Strictly Limited is like every few months. Wet Art Games is pretty much probably the only other one that's really frequent. Premium, which we got some premium things here, is every few months. But yeah, Wet Arts and Limited 1 games are probably the most common releases. Like, Wet Arts has really been pumping them out too, which is another reason why I've been very selective with those, because they do have a number of shovelware things sometimes in the releases too, so. But moving on. Down the rabbit hole. European physical edition of a VR game. It was on sale on PlayAsia. I think it was like $8 or something, so I was like, sure. Need some PlayStation VR stuff. Again, another game that was on sale on PlayAsia, Super Stardust Ultra VR, which, notably, if I remember correctly, Super Stardust was the first PlayStation 3 game to have trophies when trophies was new, out of interest, or was one of the earliest titles. But I think it was the first. I can't really quite remember. It was definitely way early. Again, on sale on PlayAsia, White Day, survival horror game. Probably not my cup of tea, personally. Dan recommended it a few times. It was real cheap on PlayAsia. But, yeah, price-wise, it kind of really depends month to month. Because you do gotta keep in mind, there are different months that are lower than others. Like, you got the big video game sales seasons, which is, you know, usually the end of the year, which are obviously gonna be higher. That's why I say kind of average, like, 200 a month. Obviously, like I said, last April, like, how much was that? Like 300 some for all that shit they dropped on April Fool's Day? That was fucking crazy. They released like fucking 5 limited games on fucking April Fools, and then that was on top of all the shit I hadn't ordered yet. I thought, like, that was the biggest fucking order I ever did on limited 1 games. Like, crazy. I'm honestly really debating about doing the same with limited 1 games, starting to really start picking a few to not get, because they do too many games at this point. Like, you don't even want to know how many orders. That's why I say, to be fair, some of these have been ordered like a year ago. Some of these are from last year that were ordered but not fulfilled until recently. So, let's see. Another game that was on sale on PlayAsia, another VR game. Looked pretty interesting. Graphically, it's a little downgrady, but, you know, it's like this ninja game, chop off people's heads and shit. Looked pretty fun, so let's work some on this stack. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, for example, was something that took a little while to fulfill. Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Ghoul Patrol, which have both gone very high in price. Very high in price. Very expensive these days. Now, I remember ordering this one. I think this was one from last year. This was a limited 1 title. Trying to remember. Super Meat Boy. So, the Super Meat Boy games here. So you got Super Meat Boy Forever and Super Meat Boy. So these are a prime example of taking quite a while. These came out when Limited 1 released their final Vita game they had in stock. That was last year. That took quite a while. Sometimes it's kind of fun to have a limited 1 game show up that I'm surprised to get since I forgot ordering it. I definitely can understand that. I got a lot of stuff that's just rotting around. It takes them so long to release stuff. You know, as much as I tell you that Red Art Games has a lot of shelfware stuff, you know something I can definitely give Red Art Games credit for over Limited 1 is they almost 99% of the time always have the game in stock and it's way to ship. They've done a few pre-order titles that are waiting, but almost 99% of their games are almost always in stock and way to ship. Limited 1 games is always fucking pre-order. Pre-order. Then you wait like a fucking year for most of them. It's like ridiculous at times. I mean, I understand the big collector's boxes, but some stuff is just kind of ridiculous for how big they are. This game, I'm not really familiar with. It's a complete edition. I think it was a digital-only title. But it has a bit in it. Then I remember this was from the Disputation Light. Now here's one of the strictly limited games. Death Smiles 1 and 2. I'm sure Pad would be interested in this. So, I think the one that came to America on the 360, which I have that, the one that comes with the faceplate, I think that was Death Smile 2, I believe. So, that was 1. I think it was 2, though. I can't really remember, to be honest. But, yeah, I was like, sure. I don't have the other one, whichever the one that didn't come. I think it was Death Smiles 2 that came to the 360, wasn't it? Come on, Pad, you know this stuff. You know the nitty-gritty in it. Then the Ninth Dawn. This was an older random title. Like, this is number 131 of the title numbers. Cause you gotta number, they number all this stuff. Oh yeah. So, yeah, there was a sale on Video Game Plus for, Picule games. So I bought a bunch of those from them on 1 week. Whoop Film. This is a visual novel game I've had my eye on for a little while. Also, fun fact, that's the company that owns FunSoft now, right there, so. Yeah. I've had my eye on that a little bit, so it was on sale, so I grabbed that. I also got Chaos Child from that sale as well. Another visual novel style game. Now, here's a wet art game that actually seems kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me of Terraria. It's basically a Minecraft 2DS game. It's very, graphically, it looks I should say a lot more basic. But, like, absolute insanity, it sounds crazier than Terraria. So, like, you start in, like, a Stone Age kind of era, and you walk yourself up to, like, freaking fighting dinosaurs, getting spaceships and stuff. It's, like, absolutely bonkers sounding, so it actually sounds very interesting. So that one I'm actually excited to give a try to. Let's see. Now, here's a title I actually was debating on passing up with Limited One. So, this was originally a Kickstarter game I actually owned and have played some of it. I never played it all the way through. But, so this is a VR version of the game that includes the original release. So, I was like, the original release doesn't have the VR. So, I was kind of like, yeah, I decided to buy it because, VR, it could add a whole new fun angle to the game. Like, some VR games can be really interesting. Like, Resident Evil 7 was really good in VR. That's why I was so disappointed that 8 wasn't in VR. So I was very excited when Capcom announced that we're actually getting it in VR with the Gold Edition now. So that's actually exciting. Because I was super disappointed when they announced, nope, no VR. I'm like, no! Let's see. Speaking of more VR, another Limited One game from last year, Little Witch Academy VR Broom Racing. A lot of people wanted that beat-em-up game, but there was some kind of issue that Limited One said they couldn't actually bring the a physical edition of the beat-em-up game that they did on Little Witch Academia. Why am I saying Academia? I'm going crazy. So let's see. Let's dabble in a few other things because we got a lot of PS4 stuff to go through. So let's get the 3DS stuff out. We don't get to see too much 3DS stuff too much. So Video Games Plus, and apparently Limited One Games is also getting in this because they did a one for a Shinra Kagura game. So Video Games Plus, like, we ordered a bunch of reprintings of 3DS games and has slowly been releasing them at a slight discount for a week, and then they raise the price, which is kind of a fear of missing out kind of maneuver, which, a lot of people find scummy, but I did get a few of them. So they did some for the Harvest Moon game, so I picked up 2 of the ones I didn't get. I believe this one's a real Harvest Moon game, and this one is a fake Harvest Moon game. After Xseed took it away from Natsumi, so I think this was like the last actual Harvest Moon game, I believe. Which, if I remember correctly, I think this is or it might have been the other one, I can't remember. It was either this one or the other one was a port of a DS Harvest Moon, actually, to the 3DS, if I remember correctly. Now here, this is, and I've talked about this on Discord, so this is Fragment Story. As you can see, has a very Final Fantasy-like cover to it, and the company is called Square Games. Square Games, it has very nice art style that's reminiscent of Final Fantasy. The in-game sprites are more reminiscent of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Oh, just a So, this was originally going to be the final American 3DS game before Limited Ones pulled their shenanigan off with their final 3DS game, which is basically their second and third 3DS game. So, this does not have 3D. It only plays in 2D, which has been a thing that a lot of later 3DS games have been doing. But this is a very short game. It's not very long at all, which is why this physical release is very odd. But I'm sure it will likely go up in price. Something like this would very likely. But it is a very bizarre game, quite honestly. Some people have called it shortness to the extent of being more of a demo. It's very bizarre. Yeah. Then let's see. Then this was another Video Games Plus, so I never got Tales of the Abyss. So if you are a big Tales fan, you know milk. Apparently, though, it's going to have digital download stages, though. There's a note in it that says it's going to have, like, downloaded edition downloads, which is weird on the 3DS, considering it's basically getting discontinued. Very odd. When I bought it, I was just told it was really short. I guess the second one print they did, which is what mine is, they decided to announce the edition of download content, so that's a very bizarre thing with it. Anyway, Tales of the Abyss, I didn't get this when it came out, and if you followed Tales games price ranges, this has gone up quite significantly, so having a reprint of this from Video Games Plus was a great steal. They still have copies as far as I'm aware if you're interested, but the discount they had on it's gone now. And then some more PlayAsia stuff. See, nice pickup. That's my second 3DS pickup. You grabbed that too, Carter? It's very good. And Video Games Plus does ship worldwide. So, if you happen to live. But, these are two Japanese 3DS games that were also on sale on PlayAsia. That I got them in a big package. They were just like 5 or 8 or something. Like, they were just cheap, so. And for those who know, that this never got a physical version in the West. We only got digitally on like the Wii U and that, so. That's all the 3DS stuff. Let's go through a few more PS4. So, some more stuff on the PQ sale. So, I have played Cat Quest 1. I got that on sale from, what is that, Gamefly. I got that on sale from Gamefly. It was the first time I ever tried buying something from Gamefly. But this is a bundle that has 1 and 2. It's a very simple game. I haven't done a review on the first one. It's been in my wadding stack of stuff I've been needing to do a review of. It's not a very amazing game. If you're looking for something to throw some time at, though, it's not the worst thing you could play. Let's see. This was also from the PQ sale, Warborn. Which, when you look at, is a Tactics-esque game. Which, if you ever played those old military games on hexagons, I was kind of like, oh. I have one that's on the TurboGrafx that's like that. Let's see, I believe this was another limited one title, I think. I think it was, yes. Wow, this is limited one number 434. Now, I want to prove this to the pad. Back, where was that one? Where was that one? Oh, never mind. Okay, I missaw it. That was a 4 as well. I missaw it. But yeah, I was gonna say the other one. I thought I said 100 something. But yeah. Going Under. I remember this one. This one looked like a fun, silly game. So that was definitely Team 16 seems to have a number of interesting, silly things under their name. which is good, because silly stuff is fun stuff, is it not? Let's see, another Kimco game. So far, I've only played 2 of these Kimco mobile RPG ports of that. A few of them look interesting. This one actually has 3D combat in it, which only a few of them have that. So, I do want to play a few more of these. Some of them actually have some interesting ideas, while other ones seem to draw us from a few classic ideas. But some of them do look pretty meh. So, definitely a subjective thing. Let's see. This was also sale on that PQ thing. So I heard this is pretty meh, kind of dating sim game thing. But it was like really cheap. It was like $3. So I was like, why not? Why not? Now here, this is a title I've been ironically waiting for. Outbreak Collection. So, Outbreak is by a single indie dev that basically made a series of survival horror games that are supposed to be reminiscent of Resident Evil Outbreak. So this is the Italian series he's made, which is like 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 games on one disc. So, these are very janky. I've only played the first one on this collection, tried it out, because it's the least one that's similar to, like, actual Resident Evil Outbreak, while the other ones are more like that. They're all cooperative and everything. It is a very, how should I say, particular taste. It'll definitely be interesting reviewing these titles, because on one hand it's one dev who made all these, but on the other hand there's a lot of jank and questionable design choices in them. Now, like I said, I've only played the first one out of them, but I've heard the other ones don't get super much better, so. Let's see. Another survival game. I believe this was a limited one also. Yes, this was a limited one title as well. Shocker. I know, it's shocking. Shocking. Oh, here's a title I'm really looking forward to. So, Light Fairy Tale. This was published by Red Art Games. And this is, first time I've heard about this game was actually from Jared. If you don't know Jared, he does a lot of survival horror videos of that. But, so, he did a review of this a long time ago. He basically described it as indie Final Fantasy VII. So, this is supposed to be multiple episodes. This is episode 1. Episode 2 is out on PC, and episode 3 is being worked on. But, I've actually bugged the, creator of this game about doing a limited release, like, about, I think, a year and a half ago of that. So it's very nice to see this. It has a soundtrack. You don't see a lot of these double disc trays in PS4 form of that. This was a very nice release. I was very excited to get this. I'm hoping to maybe play this down the road. Well, you know, I'll probably like this better than the Final Fantasy VII Remake, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very salty about the remake being basically a lie. Because it's not a remake, it's a reimagining, or even could be considered a sequel. Like, it's just such a freaking lie. It's such a fucking... I mean, I get they wanted to, like, surprise people. Like, oh, it's a remake, and then you play it, and it's like, wait a minute, what's all this new stuff? Hey, wait, that didn't have, this didn't have, they died in the original. Like, I get they wanted it to be a surprise, but... like, I don't think generally making a lie like that, like, I think, like, I'm not gonna get into what they did in Danganronpa V3, but if you play Danganronpa V3 and you know what I'm talking about, I think that kind of quote-unquote lie is a lot better. Because that didn't fundamentally tell you the Italian game isn't what it's supposed to be. Because you still got Danganronpa, it's just... a small aspect of it was unexpected. Here's what I'm expecting with the remake. And I think Aerith will be saved and survive and be like very disheartening to the original. Like, so for those who don't know, Final Fantasy VII's Cradle, like his mother died during Final Fantasy VII. If I remember correctly. Or maybe, wait. If I remember correctly, it was, wait. Sure. Let's see. Okay. So, Aerith was supposed to. Okay. Are we? Aerith was supposed to be a reference to his mother, who passed away during apparently the development of Final Fantasy III, oddly. So, okay. So, just to make sure I have that right. But I'm afraid that they're gonna, like, save it. Like, I even saw Contact Cradle even go another step. He's like, oh, they're probably going to even save Sephiroth. So you're gonna have, like, sane Sephiroth fight Genova Sephiroth, and they'll, like, battle it out, and then everyone has a happy ending. If they release a DLC, that is just Oblivion horse armor meme shit there, man. That will be meme shit material. Like, seriously. But I'm afraid of them just, like, look, I'm not saying, like, I want good characters to die, but I'm just saying, like, you ruin the impact of the emotion by reverting that. So, it's just, I think it's an interesting idea to explore a kind of, like, alternate universe of event things. I just really thought it was scummy for them to bait and switch people who actually wanted a legit remake of a turn-based JRPG in, you know, modern or 3D graphics. But, you know, we didn't get any of that. We got a reimagining, basically, like, how I've been described, Final Fantasy 15's combat system. I haven't played 15 yet, but I've been told it's basically a very similar combat system. So I'm very salty about it. I admit it, but you know, I'm still willing to try it down the road. But I'm likely gonna get it on PS5 when they'll probably have like some complete edition with everything. You know, after however many fucking episodes they do. So, during Memorial Day, I did go out to a video game store in the area that's about a town that's about an hour drive during Memorial weekend. So, I did get a few things from there. Infamous Second Son, which is a title I hadn't gotten yet. Let's see, I'll say that. Let's see. Yeah, with that, let's go with some... Oh, crap. I've got some other 3DS stuff that was here, actually. Let's see. Story Seasons. That was from XC themselves, though. They had a sale on some of their titles. That wasn't from Video Games Plus. And Video Games Plus did have copies of Persona reprints of Persona Q and Q2. Now, I do own both of these games. So there's a double reason I did this. For one thing, it's almost guaranteed Q2 is going to become an incredibly valuable game down the road. So I figured, why the fuck not? But for Q1, there was a weird problem happening with some cartridges. And Pat actually showed me a video that talked about someone figuring out what was happening. So apparently there was a point in time where some of the soldering was happening somewhere else with cheaper soldering, and that soldering is failing on some of the cartridges. So I figured, well, this is a Wii print, so this shouldn't have that possible soldering issue. So I figured I could get this. If I end up with that issue, well, I have a more modern printed copy of that. Okay, so Pad is commenting on this. So this is a game I meant to get for a very long time. Oh, excuse me. So Shadow Madness. This is a pirate-themed turn-based RPG kind of game. Now, I've never watched anyone play this game. I actually only know this game for one reason, and if you're a classic Final Fantasy player, you will know this name likely. Ted Woosley. This was the last known video game Ted Woosley directly worked on, which is very bizarre. At least that I remember ever that Ted Woosley supposedly works with a company somewhere, but he doesn't, like, apparently get credited anything lately or something. But, yeah, this is an RPG. It's a 3-disc RPG on PS1. It also has a Jade Cocoon demo disc. You don't see those too often floating around anymore, so that actually was pretty nice. That's, did it have its booklet? No, it doesn't have the booklet. So, would have probably rather had the booklet than the demo disc, but, well. Can't get everything. So, let's see. Now, this, I did trade in boxes. Now, and some of these are related to that. That actually has to do with the original Xbox you probably know sitting here for quite a while. So, for those who don't know, if you're watching this, I keep all my packaging materials, and I trade them to a local store for, games. He gets a bunch of packing material and boxes. I get a few games. Nobody loses out on money or anything of that. So, one of the games I did pick out was Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I hadn't got yet. Excellent way to get games like this. A lot of Western games I end up getting through this. So, let's see. This was on sale for $3.99 on GameStop. The initial copy I bought had a problem. It had a actual scratch on it. And I was like, no. I don't want this. So, I had to reorder a new copy, and I got that in the mail and returned the original one I had. Now, here's what's interesting. So, this was an in-store promotion for, it was a website. It was a website promotion for $3.99. In store, it was $17.99 unless you showed them that sale. So here's what's interesting. I went to return the other copy, and the guy refunded it as the $17.99. So I used in my $5 Pro card code on this. So if you don't know, you get 5 credit every month to use on whatever at GameStop if you're a Pro member these days. That's basically the only thing you really get with being a Pro member anymore, aside from points to use on a few coupons and shit. It's not very amazing these days with Pro. But, so, I got this for free with the Pro code, and I basically made $17.99 and have a spare case out of returning it. So that's pretty nice little tale for me. Let's see. This was a strictly limited game. I'm not really familiar with this particular title. It looks like a little bit of a disarray future kind of thing. Has some awards from some random place though, so I honestly don't know much about that one. Let's see. Now here's something. This title's starting to go up in price. And I accidentally missed this for limited one. I accidentally misunderstood that this wasn't a previous title they did. It was a whole different title, which was a fuck up on my end. Luckily, the Asian version has English, if I remember correctly. I think it has English. I believe it did. It doesn't mention it on the back. I'm pretty sure it did, if I remember correctly. Even if it doesn't, it's a side-scrolling thing, so it's not a big deal. Hey, Waden, how you doing? So, either way, but this title has been going up. It's becoming pricey, so. And, oh, yes, Scarlet Grace. Actually, let me get something for that. So, I got 2 extra goodies here that came. I'm gonna set this one to the side until it comes up. But I did get 2 extra goodies with some PlayAsia stuff. So I got Scarlet Waste, which is the most newest Saga game. It was originally on the Vita and that. So this is a Asian version that has English on it for the PS4. I've waited literally years, I tell you, for this to actually exist. I waited years. Because ever since they started doing these physical releases of the Saga games in the Asian the Asian territory, I just been waiting for Romancing Saga 2, which I did get in a past video, and Grace. So Grace, also like Romancing Saga 2, came with a big manual booklet with lots of artwork and stuff and color on that. Man, I really wish we got more stuff like this. Very nice. Too bad, no English, just like the Romancing Saga one, which is a shame. Shame, but what can you do? Now, I do want to show off the fact that I sadly made a terrible mistake here. So, Podium Games, which is a much more overpriced limited company, they do only a few titles every few months. They usually do 2 or 3 titles every several months. So, they're not like Limited One pumping out titles, but they are very pricey for some of the games, though. And they have like the highest shipping out of any company I buy any limited games from. Like, it's kind of bonkers how freaking pricey it is. But yeah, so I accidentally got Cathedral twice. So this Cathedral, which was actually vastly cheaper on a put-forward platform I would have rather had from Red Arts Games, versus the Premium Edition, which is an American release for the Switch. So I will likely add this to like trading, selling kind of power or something. But yeah, I was kind of like, oh crap, I didn't know this. I had already had it with Red Art Games. So, whoopsie-doopsie-doo. But in case you're not familiar with this is basically a Shovel Knight style game, which could be a very good thing. It's why I'm kind of interested in it. I really enjoyed Shovel Knight. I still need to do the DLC for Shovel Knight. With Shovel Knight, I've been waiting for the physical edition of the PS4 version, which actually got canceled. Which is very disheartening. That's very disheartening that it got canceled. Excuse me, was just getting a drink. So that's probably not happening now. So maybe a PS5 edition down the road, but I might look into the Switch version because I obviously would like to get the complete version, even though I have it here on free on Humble Bundle because that was a Kickstarter. So I do technically already own it, but you know I just like a nice physical edition, you know. So this is a very interesting game I found on PlayAsia. It looks very interesting, and it also is the one that came with the other goodie. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'm assuming it's an art book. But it has very nice looking art and everything. It looks very nice. So I did pre-order it because of that. It does have English on it, so I look forward to giving it a try. Let's get in a few other things. So this is something I kind of regret getting. This has to do with some of the criticism of Limited One games. So this is a indie title. It has, I think it's 2 titles, and apparently it doesn't have the title anywhere. I can't remember what it's called. It doesn't have the title anywhere on the box. But this first was for sale on Limited One Games as this big collector's edition with no standard. So I was like, well, it looks nice, I guess I could get it. At this release, I had a little spare money, so I was like, I guess I could dip a little in it. And I regretted it almost instantaneously, because about like a week and a half after the sales of it were gone and that, they released a retail standard edition. It's like, what? Seriously? Like a week and a half, like after? Are you kidding? It's like, are you kidding me? Is this Streets of Rage 3 all over again? Like, I don't mind the title later coming to retail at all. Like, that I think is actually a good thing. I just think it's really shitty that this way happens. Because, for those who aren't familiar with Streets of Rage... oh, did I say Streets of Rage 3? I meant Streets of Rage 4. What the hell did I say 3 for? Streets of Rage 4. So when Streets of Rage 4... went up on Limited One Games after a month or two or something. The retail version got put up for pre-order, and there were some people upset. I wasn't too big deal at the time. They did say they were gonna give a little soundtrack to the Limited One orders as a little bonus to kind of temper things. Now, where I got more mad is the fact that the retail version came out way like a fucking half year or something before the limited one ever was fucking sent out. So, and not only did it come out way before limited ones, it got discounted multiple times way before those even came out. Like, I've seen it at Walmart for like $10 when I got my copy. I'm like, I paid full fucking price for this. And that is a DLC copy, you know. So, shit like that is what pisses me off. Anyway, let's go through some other stuff. So, here we have a miscellaneous pal. Again, from the One Game Store. A few cheapos, because they basically had a buy two, get one free kind of thing and that. So, I was trying to look for some other random crap to get. So, I never got the Band Heroes, and I never got this game. I've seen this game, like, for, like, super cheap all the time and that. So, I was like, eh. Then some other, I think these two also came from there. So a new Wii title that I haven't gotten, and I hadn't gotten a Nintendo Wii title in a long time. So I didn't have any. I didn't even know there were a Dynasty Warrior games on the Wii. So I was like, sure, why not? I did check in that, and it all looks clean. It's complete and everything, which, you know, it's something that's hard. Prior to the PS3 era, you know, it's becoming harder and harder to find these in better condition and that. And then here was one I thought was interesting, because for those who know, I picked up the PS4 sequel to Tribes, actually, recently. It was also a PlayStation Plus title, I think 2 months ago or something, but so this is the original Tribes game. I thought, like, I was just like, whoa, what are the odds of seeing this here? It is complete. There is a little bit damage on the booklet, and the disc has been clearly buffed, as you can see residue from the buff stuff on the center of the disc. So it has been buffed before. So, but yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, you know, I just got the sequel, so why not get the original? Now, of course, that was originally a PC game. That was a PS2 version of it, so I always thought it was a really interesting game. This is something I got also for free, Battle Engine. Never heard of it, but looking at the pictures kind of give me this, like, Earth Defense Force vibe. So I was like, huh, why not? Never heard of it. So, it's like, looks interesting, why not? So like I said, that is where this original Xbox came from. For those who don't know, my original Xbox died on me when I used to live on my own at the last house I was at. So, he did have the original Xbox. Now, I had told him, like, about a year ago something about that, and that I was looking for original Xbox. So he had one in the store, and I asked him about it. He's like, sure, take it. So, I got this for my packaging materials. So, for those who, because I've had people go like, that's horseshit and stuff, that's stupid. Seriously, if you have a video game mom-pop store that does online stuff, seriously, ask them if they would be interested in your packing material. Because that stuff can get expensive if you do a lot of shipping. If you can walk out a nice deal, you could get stuff like that for just nothing, you know, or, you know, just a little of your time driving there with all the stuff, but you know what I mean. And, you know, it's good for the environment. You're getting boxes and plastic stuff and that we used and that, you know. I think it's a good thing. Everyone wins. Mother Nature wins a little bit. You win something. They win something. You know, I think it's a nice thing. But hey, yeah. And I'm sure some people are already noticing this. 7 Pirates H for the Switch, which was a PlayAsia. I'm assuming you're talking about the capacitor, is what I'm assuming you're talking about. So, this is a version after that capacitor issue. So, this does not have that same capacitor issue. This is one of the last, the date on it, I looked it up. So, it is one of the last ones of the original Xbox, which did use a different capacitor than the one that leaks. So, if that's what you're asking about, it is a later model after that, So basically, I only have to really worry about old age with it. But, yeah, if you want a console worked on, that's a whole different subject matter, obviously. So, there is a problem with that. So, apparently, the last version of the original Xbox, you can't do a normal remove capacitor thing. Because it apparently will mess up it. You can do it on all the other versions, which if I ever get another original Xbox, that's definitely one of the first things I'll do with it. But, apparently the final one of original Xboxes, there's something they did different with the new capacitor, which if it's not there, it won't properly run. So that's ironically a completely separate issue. Now, it doesn't have the kind of failure rate. Now, all capacitors do fail to some extent. So, in theory, it still would be a problem down the road to some extent, just not the kind that the other models had. So, but yeah. So, technically, I will be keeping an eye out for another original Xbox to try and have a capacitor removed unit. But in the meantime, at least this is a replacement one of some kind. So, there's also apparently some problem with some of the HDMI mode games on this model for some reason too. So, that's something else I have to look out for in regards to it as well. Anyway, moving on now. So, 7 Pirates H. This was originally a Vita game in Japan. It's part of a series. So if you know those Monster Girl games that PlayAsia did physical releases, this is part of that series, but it's like each one's kind of its own thing of that. So this is a very pirate-themed game. It's very, very odd because how should I put this in a friendly way? Their body shape dictates their kind of stats. It is an RPG, so how their body shape is can modify how the stats are. I hear it's kind of a boring RPG, to be honest, compared to the other titles. So, but this is probably the newest limited, more high-profile title PlayAsia has done. Yeah, the body. You know, I leave the rest to your imaginations. You know. But, yeah, I did get the nice big box edition of that, so I was like, sure, I'll get that. Yeah, you didn't see it here. Oh, no, I didn't, no, I heard nothing. Nope. It was him. He did it. It wasn't me, Twitch. It was him. He did it. Okay. Let's see, and might as well show off this PS3 title. So, I also was looking up some other titles I've been meaning to get before they start going up in price. I hadn't gotten Lords of Shadows 2 of the Castlevania series that Hideo Kojima did. Honestly, I don't think I'll like these games very much in a Castlevania way. Maybe I might like them in a kind of Metal Gear Survive kind of way, where disconnected from the franchise, but I don't think I'll like these as a actual Castlevania title, because they're basically reboots anyway, so it's like throw away everything you already know, so yeah. But, yeah, this hadn't gone up. I got like 20-something of that, so I was like, I have been meaning to get that, so well, snagged me a copy. So now, I have every Castlevania game ever released on console, which includes Haunting Castle on the Japanese PS2. So, I have, once again, have all of Castlevania currently until they do another Castlevania game. Because I got Kid Dracula with the anniversary, collection that Limited Ones did with Konami. I have Kid Dracula's sequel on the Game Boy, so you know there's none. Well, I don't have the Advanced Collection, but I do have all the Advanced DS Castlevanias. So I mean, I have played and beaten all of those on the original hardware. Now, I guess I should re-emphasize. Okay, so maybe I should re-emphasize. I have in one iteration of every Castlevania game released physically. Now, if we're talking about every version of even re-release titles, then no. Because, I mean, there's like all the Japanese versions I don't have. Let alone, you know, variants like the DS... The classic DS one, where it's the DS cover in the DS cover inside the DS cover inside the DS cover. That thing's such a meme. But I have all the advanced games. I mean, I'm serious. I have all the advanced cartridges. I have all the DS and 3DS games. So I even have the Castlevania N64 Legacy of Darkness. I used to have the original version of Castlevania 64, but I never saw any point to having it anymore once I got Legacy of Darkness, because, I mean, it has those two killer storylines in it. Apparently, Legacy of Darkness and Castlevania 64 are kind of pricey now, which is kind of ironic, though. Sometimes it's like always a gamble trying to figure out what bad games become expensive, right? Okay, let's do some more PS3 stuff. We still got lots of stuff here. So, I'm not familiar with this franchise, but apparently this is like a very well-known series in European territories. So, Strictly Limited did... Now, this was, in my opinion, a little scummy-ish, in my opinion, is releasing all these games as 2 volumes. I mean, these are older games, so there's no reason these shouldn't have been able to fit on one disc. But admittedly, that was probably more the publisher than Strictly Limited. But either way, whoever's call it was to put these on separate discs, not really a fan of it. But, you know, I understand you gotta make money too, so, Now, if I remember correctly, these actually have more games than the retail versions, which is something Strictly Limited Games has done with a few of their releases that have went retail as well, is that there's a game or two that's only on theirs. And, not really a fan of that either myself. I'd rather they have everything for everyone, but just have doubles of everything, no way. So, that's volume 2. So, volume 1 has Tordakan 1, Tordakan 2, Tordakan... I'm trying to see the little text there. Tordakan Super Tordakan's Director's Cut, Mega Tordakan Score Attack. The volume 2 has Tordakan 3, Mega Tordakan Director's Cut, Super Tordakan 2, Super Tordakan Score Attack. Oh. It's the YouTube exclusive part. For European viewers only. But, I'll reiterate just in case I was doing that. So, these were apparently older games that were popular in Europe. So, I'm not familiar with this series. And if you're curious what's on them, You get Tolkien 1, 2, Super Tolkien, Tolkien Director's Cut, Mega Tolkien Score Attack on Volume 1, and Tolkien 3, Mega Tolkien Director's Cut, Super Tolkien 2, and Super Tolkien Score Attack on Volume 2. So, personally, I would prefer those on one disc, but hey, you know, can't get everything in the world, so. Let's see, of course, this I found kind of ironic, because we didn't get the arcade collection, but we get this fighting collection. Now, Darkstalker, and that's what's kind of ironic about this to me, is Darkstalkers is always this franchise that has a really hardcore, no Super Tolkien 2 Championship Edition. Not that it listed, but I'm assuming that is sarcasm. Now, I'm sure Pad's very excited about this. I've only played one Darkstalker game. This has, let's see, man, these small-ass logos. Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Vampire Hunters 2, Vampire Slayer, Savior, Vampire Savior 2, Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, Red Earth, which I'm not sure what Red Earth is. Is that part of Darkstalkers? Gym Fighter, Cyberbots, and Puzzle Fighter 2. So, it's a mix of the puzzle and... Yeah, exactly, like, Darkstalkers has this really big fan base. Like, very loyal fan base, but it's always been a joke that Capcom basically hates them and doesn't fucking do. Different fighting, that flopped. Gotcha. So, not related. That one, I don't recall that at all. I've never heard of that one. So. Because Capcom was releasing like 10 fighters a year at that time. Yeah, that kind of is probably another problem too in its own, to be fair. But yeah, Darkstalkers is a franchise that supposedly never sold well enough to always justify having a more common releases in there. But it does have a very devoted fan base and everything. But I've only ever played one of them, so it's a nice thing for me. I'm sure Pat's excited about it, because it's, again, some titles, and a lot of them are expensive. They're certainly not cheap. A lot of Capcom's old fighter games, a good number of them have gone up in price. But, yeah. So, it's a nice collection for me, but I find it really ironic. Just ironic that we in America, it is an ESRB rated version. We did get this physically in America, but not the arcade collection. That I just think is kind of weird. But hey, what do I know? I really liked the arcade collection. Remember, you can get that in English off PlayAsia, physical version. So, I have 2 and 3 on Saturn. Okay, yeah. I'm just saying. It's definitely a nice collection for anyone who wants to get some of the Darkstalkers titles, because a lot of them are very expensive. And I'm sure the Saturn ones are up there. So, here's something. So, this is the German version. So, Knights of Azure 2. I did not realize this got a sequel, and I actually missed out on that. The price is getting to the 70-80 range. So, I did some quick researching and found a very, I think it was, this was sealed. I believe I did open it up, because sadly the disc went freestyle inside. Then I went to double check it, because I did take a bit of a risk on this, because I could not confirm 100% whether there was English on this. So I was like, it was $20, so I figured I'd take the risk, because it's pretty rare to find a German PAL version of a game with no English on it. Like, in the older gaming days, like, there were French versions, because, you know, there was less space on cartridges, so there was a lot more broken up copies with different languages, like with France and Germany and shit. But it's a lot more common to find all the languages on just all the PAL versions there. But yes, if you're not familiar with the German waiting board, on top of the Peggy waiting board, the USK, which is a horribly ugly logo that fucking defiles everything it's ever on. It's even on the fucking discs. that's actually smaller than usual. Usually we've seen it way big on discs a lot of times. But yes, it is very ugly. I don't know why it's so ridiculously fucking big on the cover. It's so fucking ugly in the windows. It's so ugly. It's ruined quite a few. Luckily, there's not really much going on in this corner, so luckily this didn't suffer as much aside from seeing it. But there have been some terrible ones where it's like, oh look, it's completely covered so-and-so's face, or that character, or the humorous thing happening there, or that. Like, it's ruined a lot of covers. It's ugly as shit. But this does have English, so luckily I do now have it in my possession before it goes even more ridiculously priced, which is just getting... It's getting crazy how some prices are for some shit lately, even on PS4. So, a lot of JRPGs have gone up on PS4. The fucking scalpers and shit are targeting modern console now. So, you know, if there's JRPGs and shit you're after on the PS4, I'd start looking them up, because, like, what is that? Blue Reflection? So, is it in this, or was it in the other one? It might have been in the other one. Yeah, it was in the other one then. So, I did get Blue Reflections 2 recently. Blue Reflections 1's like at fucking $100. Well, I haven't noticed a lot of PS4 JRPGs going up. I mean, it's been during this COVID shit, but yeah, there's quite a few JRPGs on the PS4 that are becoming really fucking pricey. It's really bad. Like, Blue Reflections is a title that didn't sell fantastically. So it just blows my mind. Blue Reflections 1's like $100 now. Like, I got that on sale at GameStop for, like, nothing. So, like, I mean, it's just kind of shocking to me to see a console that ain't even that fucking old yet, all the way having games, you know, like, limited stuff, understandable. But standard retail shit is kind of crazy for PS4, in my opinion, at this point in time. Vita, not too shocking, because that stuff was even, like, trying to find it new was, like, Walmart hardly carried Vita titles. You basically had to go to GameStop for most Vita things in America. Anyway, this is a Red Arts game, which, this was another high-profile game company that owns FromSoft. So, this looks very interesting from the screenshots in it. It's a very sci-fi tactics game. It looks very nice. So, I don't know anything about it myself, though. But it looks very nice, so Pat maybe knows something about, maybe? I'm not sure. Sometimes Pat knows some sci-fi things sometimes. Yeah, I don't know anything about the title, but it looks pretty good, actually. And this one, actually, I believe was their first title getting a retail release. As you can see, it is rated teen. It is an ERCB. Now, but Red Arts Game is a European company, so they are tipping their toes into other industries, as I've mentioned before. I know everything. Sometimes. Except when I don't. Oh, we're getting through a lot of this stuff here. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's save these for a second. Hide them. Hide! Let's go through a few more of the Switch things here. The other premium games here. This one, I'm not familiar with. This is sadly another just blind buy. Blind buy. This one I actually tried and opened. So if you never saw the insides of one of these premium things, it has this nice hard outer cover and has like an NES style slip cover inside. I do really like these. I like the design, but I just don't like the price of some of these. So, this is Mighty Fight Federation. I never heard of it until this release of it. So, the big interesting thing is it has a bunch of cameo characters. Toe Jam Or, the lady from Bloodstained, Yuki Lei, and the River City characters. All the other characters are just original, random oddball characters. And I do like how they added the indie characters to the cover, which, to be honest, was probably a good idea for selling, because all the original characters seem really meh. So this is like a Smash Brothers clone game kind of thing. I tried it some. I didn't go too far into it, so I'm willing to still give it a chance, but Force Suppression's kind of bad, to be honest. Controls seem kind of weird to me. I need to take a bit of closer look at the controls, maybe just to make sure I'm understanding them properly. But it did not give me a good Force Suppression trying it, which is a bit of a shame, because, you know, I do like the indie guest characters, but a lot of the original characters is just kind of weird to me. I haven't tried the story mode, I just was doing the player versus player mode, so, you know, still need a little more trying, but yeah, it didn't leave a good Force Suppression, sadly. Here's a title I'm really excited to try. This was from Fangamer. Baba is Hugh. This is a puzzle game. Looks like Mega Man power-up couple. So, this is a really interesting puzzle game where you play as this little animal thing in the middle. But the way it works is there's these blocks that dictate the rule of the stage. So, depending on how you move them, you could change the rules of the game. Like, you could put flag is you, and now you're the flag moving around. And you gotta use that kind of rule-breaking, weird, changing rules to beat stages. It's very bizarre. Like, check out the trailer. It's very interesting looking. Definitely excited to give this one a try. Hopefully someday not to be the living incarnation of that meme where the guy, like, goes to the game store, buys the game, puts it on the shelf, and be like, one day I'll play it. One day. Because I know, I'm basically a living freaking person of that. Let's see. No Win Arts game. Warlock's Godslayer. It looks kind of interesting. It's kind of a side-scrolling kind of fail. So, I took a whisk on this one. Not too familiar with it. Those are not shelf decorations? Nope. This one I got super cheap on a PlayAsia sale on their weekly deal thing they do. Quest of Dungeons. It also has a guest appearance. Does it mention it on the back? No, it doesn't. It does have a guest appearance that you can unlock from the Necromancer Dancer game thing. There is an appearance of that character in this. But, it looks very nice. I liked the trailer. It sold me on it. I think I got it for like $9, so I was like, well, that's a good discount shit, so. Then, this is something I debated about a lot. Honestly, I probably should have waited, but I was kind of afraid if they ran out copies and then I kicked myself in the ass. Yes, I did solely buy this because of Radical Dreamers. I know. Chrono Cross on it runs horribly. But it's the first time a legit physical version of Radical Dreamers was ever made and localized. For the first time officially localized for the first time. Now, I did play the fan translation of Radical Dreamers a long time ago through you-know-what means. But, yeah. It is a real shame what happened with Chrono Cross, though, in this. It's a real shame. I really love Chrono Cross. I'm kind of tempted to replay it through this just to see if it's really as bad as people say it is. I know I don't like a lot of the new artwork they did for it. Oh, some of the characters look absolutely horrendous compared to that sprite work they had. Oh my goodness. Like, it really makes me question, you have the option to turn the old and new models off, but apparently the artwork you can't do that with. The profile artwork that shows up when they're talking. But I find funny, they redid everyone's 3D fucking model in this game. But, like, the game runs so horribly. It runs worse than the PS1 version. Now, I always liked looking at the slowdown stuff in the PS1 version as kind of like dramatic flair. Like, that's kind of how I interpreted it when I was younger. But, yeah, supposedly every single version of this Radical Dreamers Chrono Cross version one's worse than the PS1 version, which, I mean, Switch would be one thing, but even PS5 version? How do you do that? That's why I find it so weird. They literally took the time to redo everyone's 3D models and censor some of the ladies. Because if you know, there's a way to look at the 3D models. I think you had to go under the status effects screen and you could like look at models and stuff. Like they apparently censored several of the newer models for some of the ladies. So it's just like, really, you took the time to do all of this, but you can't make the game at least run the same way it did on the PS1. At least, really. Really? But yeah, I have been told, there's one other thing, I have been told there's like, apparently one thing of new content in Chrono Cross if you beat Radical Dreamers or something. I haven't confirmed if that's true or not, it's just something I heard about. And obviously I didn't want to confirm that, because if it is true, I don't want to accidentally reveal what it is, so... that's another reason I've been considering maybe looking into playing the Chrono Cross version of it, but I don't know, I'm trying to maybe hope somebody knows what that is, and maybe tell me whether it's worthwhile or not without telling me what it is. But anyway. Alright, so here's something I've been trying to look for a cheaper price. Gun Pixies. This was, again, another Japanese game that was originally on the Vita. I do actually have the Vita version of this. It was only in Japan, but I did get the Vita version of it. And then, down the road, PQ did a Switch version for America. So, this has remained very pricey, even though the game's considered pretty... So, during that PQ sale, this was also for sale, so I snagged a copy, because I've been wanting to get a copy, just not for, like, full price. Because, I mean, I literally have the Vita version. Oh, there's still quite a few Vita exclusives, in my opinion. I mean, I think there's plenty of Vita-only titles. But, yeah, I mean, we are seeing quite a few getting ports and stuff, too, so... But I still think there's quite a few Vita-only titles. Or titles that have Vita-exclusive things. Book of Memories, but I can't say they're all great. Like, Book of Memories, Silent Hill Book of Memories isn't exactly the most amazing thing on the face of the planet, you know. Okay, let's go through some PSP stuff. It's been quite a while since I got PSP. Sadly, none of them have their original cover, which is just absolutely tears. I tell you, future generations will get PSP and DS stuff, DS and 3DS. You wanna know who to blame for this? GameStop. This is all GameStop's fault, because they threw away so many of these fucking cases. At least in America. Japan's probably fine. Japan does a very good job keeping a lot of that stuff together. But yeah, if you live in America and you start getting PSP and DS and 3DS, and you ever wonder why almost none of them have their original covers these days, it's GameStop. They threw away the fucking cases because of space. Bastards. Vita will be remembered like an N-Gage in a couple of decades. I don't know. I think it's definitely going to be the Dreamcast handheld. I don't think it'll be the N-Gage is not fondly remembered at all. The Dreamcast is very fondly remembered. I do not think the Vita will be the N-Gage. The N-Gage is not remembered fondly by anyone that I know of. Hell, I hardly know anyone who knows what a fucking N-Gage is. Not really, actually, Carter. Recently, apparently the CEO of GameStop just fucking left. And, a bunch of leaked information about them cutting back on workers and maybe shutting down some more stores came out. So, GameStop's really not doing fine, actually. I mean, theoretically, yeah. For anything that left the Vita, for the most part, yeah, the Vita version is, playing-wise, the inferior price-wise, though, I imagine the Vita versions of everything's going to be the most expensive version. Oh, that stuff is so freaking high. You know, when I went to the store that I got all these during Memorial Week, they didn't have a single Vita game. Not a single. They have 2 stores in that town. Not a single fucking Vita game. Not one. Not one. It's like, holy shit. Like, you can't find the shit anymore anywhere. And they're a big game store. They have everything. If it's a game, they'll take it. But anyway, so again, this was the buy 2 get 1 for free sale. But so let's see. That's so I got Star Wars Battlefront on the PSP. I also got Dungeon Maker Hunting Ground, which was, so this one, let's see, the first one was Xseed published. This one was published by Xseed. And then I got Dungeon Maker 2, which was published by UFO. So, yeah, Dungeon Maker 1 and 2. I imagine the Xseed one's probably published better, because UFO is pretty notorious for some really bad localizations. And then Armor Core Formula, which I didn't even know existed on the PSP. I did not know there was an Armor Core on the PSP. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. So, grab that. And so, for a very long time, I've waited for 3rd birthday to become cheap. And I waited too long, because now the price is becoming ridiculous. $34 for a non-complete version of a PSP game sounds pretty pricey, don't you think? Well, you don't want to know what a complete version of this awful game's going for now. This is cheap. So, I had to go with that, sadly. But yeah, for a long time I was waiting to try and snag a copy for like $10 or something, and I just never found one. I think the cheapest I ever saw was $29.99, so $39.99 ain't the worst thing to pay for, but yeah, I would have liked it a complete version, but there's no way I'm paying like $90+. Like, fuck that. That... Oh, dear. Too expensive, man. Too expensive. Okay, so let's go through a few more. Oh, here. So those who like Spoonies, the golden age of Spoonie might recognize some of this. Naked zombie Sean Connery. Oh, that's. I showed William that in VR recently. Oh man, that video is 15 years old. It's over a decade old now. Man. But, so, strictly limited games. So, what company did this? I mean, the actual company. The, City Connect. So, City Connect, did a collection of the American and Japanese versions of, Zombie Nation. The Japanese version's obviously named something different. Zombie Nations, you play as this civil samurai head, and in the Japanese version, you play this mask thing that's based off a Japanese demon. But yes, Strictly Limited did a physical version for the Switch, so I snagged that up. These are NES games. I tell you, Zombie Nation is probably one of the most cracked out fucking stories you've ever heard of in a video game, probably. That's why I told William. He's like, no, and I like describing the story where you play this severed zombie head that's basically spitting out fire and shooting his eyes out at things like aliens have taken over the world, and you're trying to save America. You fight the Statue of Liberty and shit. It's like fucking weird shit, man. It's just an NES game. And it's a really expensive NES game. It's like $400-something for a loose cartridge now. So, definitely a nice thing to snag if you ever had any interest in that fucking game. Ruby So this is supposed to be like a hack and slash game. I've never watched the series from Wooster Teeth. It's supposed to be very anime, you know, it's Western anime, but it's supposed to be like some kind of hack and slasher thing. Let's see, unique abilities, experience, exclusive and full canon storyline. Team up with your friends in 2-player couch co-op or 4-player online. Prove your ultimateness. But yeah, that was a limited one thing. Now I have heard this series have had some controversy lately these days, so don't really know much about that. I never followed the series and that. So let's see, let's do some more PS4 stuff here. So, Left Keepers. So, this was a Wet Arts game. This is not a very impressive looking game, but it's a Metroidvania-ish game. Like, when this came out in Wet Art Games, they were doing a lot of Metroidvania games. Lots of Metroidvania. So, you know, looks don't really matter with a Metroidvania game as long as it's fun to explore and find shit. So, I was like, well, it's a Metroidvania game. I put this in my Whisk Pal. So, I took a whisk on it, maybe being decent to that. Let's see, this was a I Am 8-bit release, wasn't it? Yes, I Am 8-bit. So, the Pathless was I Am 8-bit's first PS5 game, and it was also retail instead of being exclusive. And I feel like that hurt the game's sales a lot, because I got this like for like $9 off Amazon. So, its price has been plummeting retail-wise. It's also been put, I have noticed it on sale on I Am 8-bit's website a few times too. Definitely not $9 sale though. But yeah, I figured I'd snag that. Let's see, Split Fair, this was I Am 8-bit too. Yeah, this was also I Am 8-bit. It was also sold in retail, got for cheap. It's apparently some kind of simulator game where you're like on a boat managing like living quarters for humanoid animals. I have played a few games like that. Can be some fun, so don't know if this is a particularly good one, but I figured, why not? It's cheap. I like that kind of game once in a while. So I figured, give it a try. Now, Dead Age. This, graphically, it doesn't look very good. It uses 3D in that. It's a zombie RPG, which sounds really interesting to me. This apparently also has a sequel, so hopefully maybe see that down the road. I like zombie games, and I like RPGs. It's definitely an untapped setting in RPGs. There's hardly any zombie RPGs, really. Like, turn-based RPGs. Not a very common thing, so... definitely looking interesting, so... But yeah, graphically it doesn't look like the most amazing thing, but you know, RPGs aren't always about graphics. You gotta have that good gameplay and survive. So it has like a mix of survival elements and that, so definitely something I look forward to trying. Soul Love-A-Lot. So this is supposed to be some kind of like platformer thing where your goal is to... It's basically medieval Super Meat Boy, basically. Basically, from what I've seen, so... Then the Blood Rain Betrayal Fresh Bites, which was the Way Forward Bloody Raven game, which was a Metroidvania game. So hopefully one's a little better than some of the other stuff they've been doing lately. So, but Way Forward does a lot of good games. Even though the Silent Hill Book of Memories was pretty poor Silent Hill game, it's for what kind of game it is, it's okay. But for a Silent Hill game, that's like the big problem with that one. Then, One Step with Eden. This had a lot of drama. This was another limited one release. So this had a lot of drama. So, there's been this conspiracy. No one's proved it yet. But there's been several titles that limited one games, they'll be like, oh, we're going to have the physical version. But then there's also an Asian version on like PlayAsia and that. And it mysteriously doesn't have English on it all of a sudden. Because almost all Asian versions have English. If the game has English somewhere in the world, the Asian version will likely have that English with it. So this was one of those weird cases And it's been this growing conspiracy that Limited One Games is encouraging or forcing these companies to get rid of the English off their Asian versions. Now, like I said, there's no proof. Those are allegations. And I haven't really heard anything from Doug or Josh on that. But all I have to really say about it is, if they are doing it, personally, I think that's scummy, because you're holding people in other countries that may only speak English better or that. So, but I don't know the full thing. Could be a publisher thing, like, you know, the actual owner of the game, not Limited One themselves. It's kind of hard to say that, but this was a distribution title from them, Riverbound. I believe it was like some kind of dungeon top-down thing, yeah. Quite possibly my favorite co-op game of E3 indie from DualShock. Shoot and slash, dungeon crawl, wacky weapons, couch co-op, boss fights, indie game crossover. Oh wow, there's actually Psychonauts, that Mexican wrestler game, Shovel Knight, Bastion. You can be the bullet from Gundam, Into the Gungeon, Spelunky, Knights and Bikes. Planet of the Eyes, I don't know that one. Levels in Space and Time, I remember that one. So that actually has a lot of crossover characters in it. But, yeah, dungeon crawl thing. Could be fun. Kind of reminds me of the Minecraft thing. I've been waiting for that, what was the later edition that has all the DLC? Like, I've been waiting for that to go on sale. Like, the original release of it keeps going on sale. But anyway. So, along with Castlevania, I've been, like I said, trying to check into series that I've been needing to get. I never got Resident Evil Revelations 1 or 2, so I snagged those. Again, they are not super expensive currently, so if those are things you need for your series, might suggest looking into them, because like I said, some stuff are going up, and scalpers are always looking for the newest thing they can fucking control the price on, you know. So I believe, other than Resident Evil 8, I should currently have every Resident Evil game released physically, which includes that. I don't think Pad was around when I played it. That horrible Counter-Strike game that had a physical version and only in PlayAsia, which is really expensive now. That is very expensive now. It is a terrible game. It is very, very expensive. So, anyway, let's see. Hyperspace Outlaw. This is supposed to be like some kind of weird, like, web browser experience or something. Something really fucking weird. I don't really know anything about it, but it certainly looks fucking trippy as hell, that's for sure. Let's see. This was also from that PQ sale. I believe it's a visual novel. This one I'm not familiar with at all. Now here's a game with some story behind it. So, Zombie Night Terror. So this is a version released in PAL territories with the PAL logo. So this was originally going to be released by a limited company called, what were they called? Ronald Games. So they announced, I believe, a total of 5 games and never delivered on any of them. So this was like, I think, the second or third game they announced, and I was actually interested in it. And, yeah, they went in with everyone's money. Really a shame. Really, really sucky. So, it was nice to see this finally actually get a physical edition somewhere. But, yeah, so, it's a very 8-bit pixel looking kind of thing. It's not an amazing looking game. But basically, imagine Stubbs the Zombie, except it's more lemmings in 2D retro. It's like a weird mix of Stubbs the Zombies and Lemmings, though. I like the idea. I haven't played it. I don't know if it's super good or that, but I like the idea. I always like to take a twist on some stuff. Now, White Knight. So, this has a really interesting aesthetic to it, and that just completely drew me in. It looks very nice. So, I also got this. Again, it's a European physical only currently, but yeah, I was like, that looks very nice. So that got me enough to try that. And then this was my newest thing that got shipped to me from Limited One Games. Mercenaries Blaze Dawn of the Twin Dragons, which, if you're not familiar, which is a very Final Fantasy Tactics style series. And it looks very good, man. I haven't played any of them yet. I do have all of these games so far, so this was a limited distributed title. So I didn't want to accidentally have it sell out and not become easily available like the other ones have sometimes. Because you let your guard down, sometimes one will slip through the crack and they're like, no. Then, of course, Super Whale Games. So, Super Whale Games releases, though, like, this is an excellent example of something that isn't... So, they generally kind of release, like, a game, like, every month or so of that. So, I always buy the bundle to save on shipping. So they only ship out once all 3 are out. So, it progressively takes a little time to get these. So, this one... Crafting adventure game, an expensive... So some kind of crafting game. Not really familiar with that one. What I am excited for is this one. This is a puzzle game, and it's a really strange puzzle game. Essentially, it's a perspective. So let's say I'm looking at this table, and I look at this. So I can grab it and move it, and if I move it like closer, you know, you get the perspective that looks bigger. When you move, it retains that size. Or if I move it far away and I move closer to it, it retains that small size even as I move up to it. So it's a really bizarre puzzle game that has to do with manipulating objects. I'm definitely very interested in trying this one, so I'm very excited to get that one. This one I'm not familiar with. Rogue Heroes, Ruins of the Tyrant. Sadly they put these stickers and these cards in here and you can't fucking see what it looks like. I'm assuming with Rogue in the title, it's probably some kind of Rogue game, but I'm not familiar with this one. It is from Team 17, though, to note. And like I said, Team 17 does have a few nice titles under there. So, focus. And of course, last PS4 game. This is a title I've been meaning to get for a very long time. I finally found a copy. It's not usually a super expensive game. It is a Metroidvania style game, but finding a good condition copy has been a bit of a pain, but I did get one. You can see it has a little dent there. That's the only thing bad about it. So this was also on Vita. Limited One Games actually, ironically, did a weird Vita Collector's Edition thing for this thing. But at the time, I was just meaning to get the PS4 version because it was a retail game. And it started becoming kind of hard to find. Not expensive. It's like the reverse problem. It's not very expensive, but it was becoming hard to find a copy of it. So, you know. So. I always hate getting loose stuff, but sometimes that is the fate of things. So yeah, that should conclude all the newest pickups in it. So update-wise about some of the things going on. As you all know, the Camlink 4K thing for the Elgato has not been working properly on my computer now after several months of having it, which is very confusing. For some reason, it just randomly freezes, and I've yet to find any solution for it, which is a shame because even though I got this on sale, it was expensive, not over $100. This is normally like $90 to $100 something dollars. I think I got it for like $70, $80 of that, so I got a bit of a discount on it, but still kind of a shitty thing to happen for something you invested some money in. So I'm going to still try a few things, but sadly, if I can't figure it out, I will likely put it away for the future. One day it will likely become useful again, but I'm not sure what the fuck's going on with it. It's really confusing to me. Well, the problem with the things that are like this, that are cheaper, is a number of them melt. Like, I can't remember who it was that shared one. There was one somebody shared with me that's like $20, and like 80% of reviews were like fucking thing melted and shit. Well, I'm already using a capture card. I mean, that's how you're seeing this. I need to maybe look into more modern camcorders, because this camcorder's old. This camcorder's probably like 15 years old itself. Okay, maybe that's a little more exaggeration, but it's at least almost like 10 years old. I don't know if you can use 2 capture cards at one time. I don't know if you can do that. And the problem there is this is the only HDMI capture card I have. I don't know. Windows 10 is pretty fucking weird. I mean, seriously, Windows 10, I hate this fucking OS so much. I cannot even begin to describe you how fucking much I hate Windows 10. It is so fucking awful. It is so fucking awful. Maybe look into it. But yeah, maybe down the road this might come useful or something. But at the moment, it looks like it's sadly like going to be put away. Because as far as I can tell, this thing still works. So my only other try is to maybe contact the customer service and maybe get a new one and see maybe is the device itself, maybe something in it overheated or something. Because to be fair, that melting thing sometimes does happen to these too, where they overheat. But that is a very small amount of those. I don't know. The packaging does not have any papers or anything with it. So, I've had it obviously for a few months, so I'm pretty sure I can't return it to Amazon where I got it. And you see, and I find it hilarious. Right there it says Windows 10 compatible right in the back. My ass. Why I fucking get annoyed with computers. But, yeah. I highly doubt I can return it to Amazon. I'll have to check with the return. But, yeah. I have considered looking into calling them and see if maybe I can get a new one and, swap it out for another one and see if maybe that's the problem. Because that's aside from a few other weird things I could try on the computer, I've tried a lot of the most common sense and common problems people have made videos and topics about related to it, and I've tried all that shit. And I've had zero luck on it. So, but, yeah. But I highly doubt I can get a refund. Because I got it from Amazon, and it's been like 3 months since I got it, I believe. So I really don't think, I don't really think it's within Amazon's return time. I can take a look here real quick. Let's take a look. Do you to return something to Amazon? Amazon has a 30-day ship, 30-day return ship. So yeah, it's always past, it's always way past limited. I'm getting tongue tangled. It's always way past those then. So all I can hope is that it has some kind of warranty with Elgato. Which, since I bought through Amazon, I probably can't get a refund through Elgato. It'll probably just be, like I said, where I can get another card and hope that turns out something of that, but we'll have to see how that turns out. Anyway, though, so we went through all the new pickups and everything, so that's everything we got. So definitely a number of titles. I'm very happy to get a new original Xbox also. like I said, I've been needing to get one, so it's good to have gotten one finally, so I can actually do some original Xbox stuff again. So that'll be exciting to see. It was a good show. Thanks for the nice stream. Yes, no problem. Always welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining today.